Hello, I'm Carrie from the Stampin' Up! Home office, here to talk to you a little bit about the Festive Season Stamp Set and the Christmas Stitching Thinlits. Hand stitching is such a charming technique to add to your handmade cards and paper crafts, and the look is so popular right now. So these products were designed to make that technique easy and fun to achieve. Let's start with the stamp set. The Festive Season Stamp Set is a 12-piece, two-step stamp set with fun, bold images like the ornament and the tree and the star. But then you can step up those images by adding the more detailed pieces and using that two-step stamp technique to really build dozens of darling images. You can just imagine all the fun things you can do with this set. But when you add the thinlits, it creates even more possibilities. We've got some pieces that were designed to cut right around the stamped images, like the ornament and the little design, the star. And then we have some pieces that were designed to punch holes in those stamped images. And those holes will allow you to stitch with a needle and thread and really get that cute hand-stitched look. Let me show you how to use these. I'm going to start by stamping the Christmas tree. It's a photopolymer stamp set, so I'm going to use my craft mat. And this is Pear Pizzazz ink. Here's my tree. Since these are such large, bold images, you just get a better result when you use that craft pad. So there's my tree. And now I'm going to run it through the Big Shot with this framelit piece to punch the holes. You can see how that lines up right on my tree. And after I run it through the Big Shot, it will look like this. You can see how those holes are punched right around the outside. Now I could take my needle and thread and go in and out of every hole, or skip a few holes. There's lots of possibilities. I wanted to make this card as simple as possible, so I'm actually going to do some longer stitches. I've got one started here, and you can see how I've skipped over a few of those holes to make it go a little bit faster. And it really does go quickly. I'll do a couple of stitches here so you can see. This is the Baker's Twine Trio Pack. It works beautifully with this, with these framelits. And I won't take the time to do all of this, but you can just see how easy and fun it is, and all of the different possibilities and looks you could get. Having a hard time getting my needle through that hole. Let's do some back stitching. So you can see how easy that would be to do all around the edge of the tree. And before I show you the finished card, I want to also show you how to do the star on top of the tree. So I have a piece of So Saffron cardstock, and I'm going to use So Saffron ink with the little star stamp. Get that on there. And now I'm going to use this bitty star framelit to punch the holes. So line that up and run it through the Big Shot, and you'll get a piece that looks like this with the holes punched. And then I want to use the piece that cuts out this star. So run it through the Big Shot one more time, lined up like that, and then you'll get your finished tiny little star that looks like this. Now I do want to add some stitching around the star, so I am going to use the gold thread from the Baker's Twine Trio Pack. But the gold thread is a little, for such a tiny little piece, the Baker's Twine is kind of thick, so this is a fun little trick. You can see how it kind of separates on the end. There's actually 6 strands of thread that make up the one strand of Baker's Twine. So I'm going to separate it and just use 3 of the little strands. So I'm kind of pulling it in half so I have less bulk on my star. And I have one started here with my needle. I've done all but just this last point. Kind of got a knot there in the end. So now I'll put this on my tree and let me show you the finished card. Isn't that cute? It kind of has that simple, charming look with the stitching around the tree. Everybody's going to be so impressed when they see this card. There are so many options and cute things to do when you pair these products together. Let me show you one other sample that really illustrates that. You can see the running stitch around this ornament, and you can kind of see that perpendicular stitch around this ornament. So play and have fun when you order these products, because there are so many fun things you can do. Contact your demonstrator or visit our online store to place an order and get started on your own charming hand-stitched cards.